I've been covering the Obsidian Entertainment whistleblower situation for a while now, where many people who work at the company or are related to Obsidian in some way, shape, or form have come forward to me privately, letting me know about behind the scenes, what's going on there, why it's so bad, and how people like the art director Matt Hansen and their tweets that got leaked out there about being hardcore racist and awful people are just the tip of the iceberg with just how bad these people are, how they blackball anyone that dares cross their ideologies, how they look to subdue anyone looking to stand out and have some sort of ideas that fly in the face of an ideology. You know, creativity, the stuff that's supposed to push games forward. Well, apparently at a place like Obsidian Entertainment, when you hire someone like Matt Hansen, your opinions don't matter anymore. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And this might be one of the craziest videos of leaks I've ever had, and that's saying something. Somebody who is related to Obsidian Entertainment, I don't want to give away any information on this for fear of their own safety here, but they leaked an email to me from the CEO, Fergus Urquhart, and this email gives us insight into exactly how Obsidian Entertainment is planning on handling the whistleblowers, the leaks, the employees that have been coming forward to external sources and YouTubers like myself because they are sick and tired of the information getting out there. And instead of handling it, making the changes and saying, hey, we're learning, we're growing, and we're going to be better, they're doubling down, tripling down, and saying, if we catch anyone doing any of this stuff, you're out of here. JT. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down this wild leaked email from the CEO of Obsidian Entertainment. An anonymous whistleblower for Obsidian Entertainment has leaked to me directly an internal email sent to the entire company, signed by none other than Fergus Urquhart, the CEO of the studio. The email provides a sad glimpse directly inside the current state of Obsidian Entertainment. The insider has also revealed something both surprising and humbling. A lot of the employees at Obsidian have been watching my videos in particular, covering the unfolding situation going on over there. Over the past few weeks, since Matt Hansen controversy erupted, I've been inundated from messages from folks connected to the studio in some way, shape, or form, all with eerily similar sentiments. Like, I don't know, a pattern of poor and misguided leadership? After we go through this, I'm gonna let you be the judge. A picture has slowly been brought into focus here, and it's not a pretty one. The whistleblower stated in their message, echoing what many other folks have already said to me in the past. They stated, while I disagree with everything Matt and others are doing at the studio, I do worry about feeding the outrage machine. However, I also worry that nothing will ever change for the better as long as people are ignorant of what is going on. And this snippet from the message is basically saying they don't really want to reach out to me and have me talk about this because that could feed the outrage machine and make people more angry and just cause more internal strife at an already struggling internal organization that is Obsidian, when their whole intent is to try to save the company. But trying to do that from the inside isn't working, which is why they're feeling forced to reach out to other people to lend a hand, to get the word out and let everyone know, put a spotlight on Obsidian saying, this is what it's like internally over there, this is what's happening, stifling creativity and subduing any employees that try to speak out. Obsidian, the once beloved creator of classics like Fallout, New Vegas, and The Outer Worlds, finds themselves at a serious crossroads. The internal climate is one of division, frustration, and stagnation. The whistleblower continued in their message stating, the problem at Obsidian is cultural, and culture flows from the top. According to the leaker and multiple other employees who have reached out to me over the past couple weeks, a significant portion of the staff agrees that Matt Hansen is a roadblock, stifling true creative freedoms in favor of pushing extreme ideologies. This whistleblower continues with their message saying, Matt has no fear of being fired because long before Microsoft bought Obsidian Entertainment, this was the culture. Microsoft only further reinforces the particular world and cultural view. And they continued stating, there were some there that pushed back against it, but most just left. Think about that for a second. The internal culture at Obsidian Entertainment has been so bad for so long that Instead of making changes for the better and fixing it to push it to a better place, people who have been there, talented developers and creators and other people who worked at the company, just decided to put their hands up and say, you know what? This isn't the same place it used to be. I don't want to be here anymore. And they just straight up left. And you see how this kind of action creates a culture that doesn't have any kind of diversity with it. Because all the people of the same thought are the ones that end up staying, and the ones that actually think differently and have some creativity and different organizational structures in mind and what they want the games to be like and things like that, they can't be heard. They don't change anything. So they just leave, leaving a company with far less creativity and far more ideologies and agendas being pushed. But let's get to this email from Fergus, because this is the wildest part of everything that this whistleblower shared with me. The title states, Avowed Online Controversy. You and your online presence. Required reading. General high importance. And the email states, many of you have probably seen the controversy online about Avowed over the last 4 or 5 days. I am not going to speak directly to what is happening, because the way we are going to deal with this, unless things change, is to let it blow over. I have always dealt with things like this by not giving them more airtime, which is actually, ironically, the exact reason why this email got leaked to me. People internally at Obsidian are frustrated that you aren't doing anything and you're just letting it blow over when they're taking a stand here saying, no, this is a problem. We need actual tangible change at the studio, because if we keep going down this road, it's going to destroy everyone. Now to talk about how you all do engage online. You have probably all noticed that our language at Obsidian is to walk a tightrope when it comes to how we ask you to think about your online presence. You have all heard me say that you are your own people, and of course have every right to say what you want to say wherever you want to say it. Something I staunchly believe in personally, whether I like what you say or not. That freedom does come with challenges and responsibilities, particularly when you talk about things that are associated with our games or games in general. And it says what you say can, and it cuts off there, and I'm assuming is what you say can and will be used against you by the external forces that you give the information to. I would assume that's the direction the email goes, but like I said, it gets cut off there. But it would make the most sense that he's trying to instill fear in these employees, saying, hey, you can say whatever you want to say to whoever you want to say it to, but just know it's going to come back and hurt you if you do that. And I'm saying, that's not necessarily true. These people are really frustrated about the overall ecosystem and environment internally at Obsidian, and they're coming to you. They're telling you, this guy, Matt Hansen in particular, is a problem. You need to change him and start changing the culture there. And you're saying, la, 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 we're just going to wait for this to blow over, and everything will be fine and dandy when Avowed comes out. And I got some other information regarding Avowed that I'm not at the liberty to talk about right now, because another whistleblower is afraid of their job, so I'm not allowed to even talk about that one, where I'm like, Avowed might not be as great as what people are thinking it was. So the greater point with all of this is you're trying to ignore genuine feedback and criticism of people at your company and just pretending that it's just going to be fine because these people are in positions of power and they can apparently do no wrong, and you've made the decision that it's almost like, well, it's them or us, and if you don't like them, you can leave because those are the people in charge here. And that's exactly what ends up destroying a studio. In the email, Urquhart addresses a recent controversy surrounding Avowed, the studio's upcoming fantasy RPG. And he says, the way we're going to deal with this, unless things change, is to let it blow over, opting to sidestep any direct engagement and difficult conversations that need to happen with all this growing backlash. It's almost like when Microsoft came in and bought Obsidian, that Fergus just made a whole bunch of money and was like, he kicked back, relaxed, and was like, you know what, just let it take care of itself, guys. Let's not fight. Let's not have any problems here. I made all my money, and can we just, like, I don't know, let these people that have these ideologies run amok, have them run our studio into the ground? That way we can just, I don't know, live and let live, no problems here. His passive approach feels emblematic of a much larger issue at Obsidian, a leadership team that's unwilling or unable to tackle the root causes of employee discontent. Urquhart acknowledges employees' online engagement and reminds them to walk the tightrope when it comes to having an online presence. He emphasizes that having the freedom to say what they want could come with some serious repercussions after doing that, particularly when discussing Obsidian's games. And while this might seem like boilerplate corporate language on the surface, it reveals a far deeper issue. Employees feel increasingly constrained in their ability to speak freely, even within the walls of their own studio. And Matt Hansen's influence is looming large in all of this, from an overwhelming amount of actual people connected to Matt in some form or another that have reached out to me in unison over the past few weeks, stating something along the lines of, "No one wants him there," as they fear he single-handedly is dragging down the company from within, pushing ideologies and agendas and forcing everyone to follow what he's doing into their own demise. The whistleblower who leaked this email, and many others who have contacted me since the controversy began, paint a picture of a studio caught in the grip of extreme ideological agendas. And while I've discussed plenty of times on my channel how the woke cultures in game development ultimately consume the very company they aim to raise up, Matt Hansen, a senior leader and art director at Obsidian, is at the center of all this happening with Obsidian. According to the people close to him, his leadership style has become synonymous with censorship and the suppression of creative voices that don't align with his worldview. The whistleblower continued in their message, "He's blocking true creative freedoms for the sake of pushing his extreme ideologies." If you take a step back from this and you hear this stuff, you'd think this is like a YouTuber trying to make propaganda in a video to get clicks. And I'm like, no, this is actually an email from a whistleblower, and I'm just saying what they're telling me. That's how crazy it is inside Obsidian right now. What's striking is how widespread this sentiment appears to be. From my view, based on the sheer volume of messages I've been receiving from too many people to count at this point, it feels almost unanimous. And yet, according to my source, nothing inside Obsidian seems to be changing at all. This direction is particularly concerning given these stakes. Avowed is shaping up to be one of Obsidian's most ambitious projects to date, but now it's been overshadowed by growing internal strife and external skepticism. And that alongside with some of the people inside of Obsidian saying that Avowed really isn't that great. And it's a big game they've been working on for a while, and this could actually tank their studio. Urquhart's email, while professional and measured, underscores the sense that he's lost control of his own studio. His statement that freedom does come with challenges and responsibilities reads almost as a veiled warning to employees who are trying to speak out about frustrations. I've had other whistleblowers expose some serious problems at that studio as well, only to message me later to ask me not to discuss the stories that they told me about due to fear of backlash on them in particular. The studio itself is going under a complete lockdown right now, and they are actively trying to seek out anyone speaking out, which kind of flies in the face of this email saying, yeah, feel free to talk, say whatever you want. And then the people are messaging me back saying, actually, don't talk about the stuff I told you because they could find out who I am from that, and then I'd probably end up losing my job. The leaks are continuing, and many of those connected to Obsidian have completely lost faith in the leadership. Ever since Microsoft took over and Fergus got a good payout, it almost feels like the passion that he used to have driving his heart is all but gone at this point. The whistleblower described a workplace where morale is at an all-time low, creativity is stifled, and fear of any retaliation silences the currently growing dissent. Ideology is taking precedence over storytelling, and Avowed, the game that was once brimming with potential, at least when I first saw it, now is risking becoming a casualty of internal chaos. It's gotten so bad that the situation goes well beyond just the perception of Avowed's problems that's in question anymore, and it's now Obsidian's ability to survive as a studio if these issues go unresolved. It's gotten that bad. From what I've been told, there's a growing sense internally that Obsidian is teetering on the edge. I wouldn't be surprised if this moment right here isn't the beginning of the end. The CEO, Fergus Urquhart's leadership is being questioned internally, actively, daily, and Matt Hansen's unchecked influence and protection from Microsoft proper is causing a gigantic rift within the company. If major changes aren't happening anytime soon, the very foundation of the studio could collapse under the weight of its own internal strife. The cracks are beginning to show. The choice now is whether Obsidian will actually try to patch them up and refocus to what made them great in the first place years ago, creative freedom and bold storytelling, or, based off of what I've been seeing more likely, allow themselves themselves to crumble, destroying the quality developers and employees' lives while it spirals the drain. Either way, the next few months will be pivotal, not just for Avowed, but the future of one of gaming's most iconic studios. There are so many great, hardworking, talented employees at Obsidian. The current situation they're facing is honestly just a damn shame, because at this point, they could end up losing their jobs because of something they had no control over: poor leadership. And ultimately, based off of this leaked email that I'm seeing, that's what it's all coming down to. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for this whole article. Shout out to this very brave whistleblower sharing this information with me. We are winning, and we are working on changing things to make the game industry better. And there is no better example of that than this video right here. I hope this enacts some sort of change over there to save these employees' careers and change the game industry for the better. I'm going to leave it there. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Smash it,